Hey everybody, it's Aldo Gandhi, and I just want to let you know really quickly that our swag shop is reopened. DeepDishTees.com is where you go, and that's tees with T-E-E-S. Clever name, guys. They're the new home of our merchandise. You can get t-shirts, you can get caps, you can get coffee mugs, you can get hoodies, you can get all sorts of good stuff, and you'll help out the bar room with the purchase. So head over to DeepDishTees.com.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's live. It's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. Dude, I had like a coughing fit for a minute there. I was like dying that whole time. I told you guys, I told you guys when you come back, I might be dead. And I'm like, it's been nonstop. So I'm just going to push this thing over to you right away and keep on choking. Mr. Ryan Badgley, badge of honor. Take it, man.
Oh, perfect. He sends it to the guy who lost his voice screaming at the officials at the SU game because they were fucking terrible yesterday. Good God almighty. But anyway, it's Sunday. We got to forget about yesterday. The Bears are back in action. Yes, I look excited, but I'm fucking really not. I'm telling you right now, I need to be excited. I got to cheer my team on. I'm trying not to be negative, but after sitting in the dome yesterday and looking at an SU team who I've thought for years mirrored the Chicago Bears, I saw basically the same thing yesterday. A competent defense, an inept offense, and a special teams unit that probably won't amount to much other than we actually have a kicker who could possibly make a 50 or a 43-yard field goal. So yeah, welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show and my wonderful voice on the day. So with that, Bobby, I'm done talking.
Hey, good job, man. I think I'm ready to breathe again. Yesterday was good. There's some good college football out there, though. I mean, I know you guys both attended games yesterday, so there was some good things going on. We'll kick this thing over to Aaron Current, AC, the Kentucky kid, the bearded Bears fan, and I'm sure we'll get a Kentucky weather update, maybe a little Wildcat update. What up, man?
Hey, the weather's beautiful, man. The Wildcats came to play last night. They played against Missouri and had one of the better games in college football yesterday. I want to apologize if my voice is going in and out today or not. I can't tell. Kroger Field was fucking electric last night, and I was telling these guys before I got on, it's an atmosphere that Kentucky football pre-Mark Stoops era has never happened. And typically we only get up for games like Georgia or Florida or, when the big schools come to town. But man, something about last night and the way this team is playing, it's got me really excited about this Kentucky football team. And and just like Badge was saying, man, trying to be excited about the Bears, but I mean, it's going to be a tale of two seasons. To me, it feels like it's going to be the Andy Dalton era, and how long do they wait to put in Fields? Because he's. I mean, as far as the offense goes, I mean, I guess Montgomery's great, Robinson's great, but I just don't see him doing much with Andy Dalton under center.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I think we know how. So let's just run right into this, man. We know how this Bears thing is going to go, right? Every little mistake, every fucking anything that happens is going to be Andy Dalton's fault. 100%. I'll be right along there with. I'll be right along there with most of the people being like, "This guy's a fucking idiot. Get him out." Right? There's no such thing as I won't say even fair shake, because the dude's a backup quarterback and he should be a backup quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? There's not that's what he should be doing. And for Nagy to even put him in this place and say that he's a starter and this and that, just it doesn't fare well for him. People hate Dalton because of Nagy's decisions. And he's going to be the one that's getting booed. He's going to be the one that people are yelling, Dalton sucks and this and that and all this shit. He's going to feel all the shovels full of shit and be the one taking the heat for being what he is, a backup quarterback. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not. I think we are where we're at with Dalton. He's not going to come out and take a season long and be amazing. He might have a game or two where he throws 4 touchdowns or does well, but he's not the masterful fucking quarterback or the elusive one that's going to get out there and really fire up your team. So
I saw a video last week from I think it was from ESPN's Greeny, where
from
he was
vault.
talking. Maybe that's what he's doing now. I don't know. He used to do that show with Mike Golick, Mike and Mike or whatever. But but he was talking about how they were trying to compare this to the Kansas City situation with Pat Mahomes and Alex Smith, and then he was like, Alex Smith was putting up record numbers in that offense. So this is a completely different situation where Dalton's been a middle of the road quarterback since 2015, 2016. And even then he was slightly above average. He's never been a baller. They're both brand new quarterbacks. So it's not like it doesn't compare to the Patrick Mahomes situation, because it's not like he's been here running the show,
Yeah, and I mean, and Alex Smith was 11. I know I said it last week. I think it was 11-6 the year prior, and then 10-7 the year before that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no reason.
He threw for over 4,000 yards.
Yeah, there was no reason to have
season.
Let me just for everybody that's watching, we are not the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. This is not the same.
Wait, what?
Sitting somebody for a year does not magically make them fucking mature into Patrick Mahomes. It does. Patrick Mahomes is a fucking beast. The kid is a beast. He's a special talent. If you sit your high draft pick quarterback for a year, it does not make him Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't work in any fucking world. And I don't know. I mean, maybe Nagy believes that. Maybe he thinks so would it give him a better understanding? Sure. But the kid's a player. That's why he's successful, because he makes shit happen in the games. You know what I mean? And I think that the same thing can happen, just by having him in there. Everybody else who's worried about, he could get injured. Sure. He can get hit by a fucking bus too.
Right. That's what my dad was saying. He was like, so you want to put Fields out there. What if he gets hurt? I was like, it's football. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But we know what we have with Dalton. Did anybody watch that Dallas offense on Thursday? Dalton was running that.
Speaking of that, AC, I've got some Dalton highlights from last year when he was leading that offense. We're talking about him. We're going to talk about his play. So let's roll right into it.
Sounds good.
So here's Dalton. He had an open receiver. I mean, it's I think with Andy, to me, guys, if he's got to put the ball in a spot, I think he's going to struggle. I mean, you saw it in the preseason. with Rodney Adams. The touchdown that was thrown, Rodney Adams made a phenomenal catch by pulling the ball off the defender's helmet
Yeah.
versus these throws where you're seeing open receivers. Those are throws that we had a quarterback a year ago, couldn't hit them.
That's true.
So at least with Andy, you can, if he's got an open receiver, chances are pretty good he will hit the open receiver. Is the O-line going to give him time? And that's something, I mean, you look at this.
That's a big question.
That's a huge question going into
I mean, this is the
game.
biggest test. This is one of the biggest tests they're going to face. And don't get me wrong. I want Dalton to come out and fucking go 28 for 30 and light it up, right? There's been nothing to show us that. Like there's been no and even the shit that has shown us that in the past has been wrong, right? Like Trubisky comes out and smoke checks Buffalo or not Buffalo, Denver, and lights up the scoreboard and whatever, right? And all of us are on the Trubisky train, like we're all ready to go. And he never really did that outside of the Tampa Bay game, in Chicago, right? Like never really came out with that same style. So hopefully we're wrong. Do we all want a Bears win? Fucking absolutely.
Oh my God.
But I just think that this is we're going to find out what we are today, and everybody hopping in the chat, Nate, Steve, King Pookie's in there, Torian's in there, Chris Watts, Texter, Mike's in there. What's up, Mike? Bear down, buddy. Bears Edits, just everybody hopping in, man. It's today's the day, and I don't want to be all like fucking, oh no,
that's a big one.
I know.
It's hard though, man. It's hard to not do that, but let's, I know
this one has me worried right here.
Oh, definitely.
That's what I was just about to. That's what I was just about to get into. So Monday, Eddie Goldman went down in practice with a knee injury. He's been listed out for today. The practice squad, they brought up Josh Woods from the practice squad, and they brought up
Darian.
Somebody in the chat tells us that I forget. Either way, that dude's been around the league a little bit, a defensive lineman. But I mean, with everybody who was riding high on Goldman being back, right, and ready to do this, and now he's out. Does it, like, AC, what are your thoughts, man? Does it really affect his front seven, or is it?
I mean, at least we actually went out and drafted a true nose tackle. Now, he's not at Goldman's level. I don't know if there is a nose tackle at Goldman's level, to be completely honest, in the NFL today. It's kind of a dying off position, and Goldman's one of the best. If there was a weakness on this LA Rams team, it would be that offensive line. I mean, they've got Andrew Whitworth at left tackle, who's 472, I think now. Just celebrated his birthday, and I don't know who else on that O line. So I was excited for Goldman and those D linemen to come in and eat against this O line. If we had a shot, it was going to be getting pressure on Stafford and making him make a mistake, which is why I'm wearing Eddie Jackson today, because I think he's going to be allowed to actually stand back there and play center field with Desai taking over the defense. But it does concern me. Yeah.
I have to agree. I mean, you take look at what happened. Look what transpired last year. Eddie Goldman sits out the season.
Yeah.
I mean, we had nothing for pressure at all up front. Nothing. And
getting gashed in the run game as well.
Yeah, Chuck Pagano, I know is different than Sean Desai is going to be, but I don't care. You need to get pressure on a quarterback to help your DBs, no matter what it is. Are there DBs that are going to make plays? Yes, but pressure helps. And if we can't get to the quarterback, it's not going to go well. Unfortunately,
that's the only way that
Robert Quinn.
Yeah. Dalton's not putting this team on his back and winning. I think we all know that. But he can string together a couple of wins with good defensive play, with good play calling. And that's it. Like, I mean, I think we kind of said the same thing where Fields can, with below average defensive play, I believe Fields can still win games. With below average defensive play, Dalton's not winning games. And that's where I'm at with the whole thing, right? I 100% think Fields should be starting, but he's not, fellas. And we could beat the drum and talk about this the whole fucking time, but honestly, it's something it's not happening. We all know that it's going to take an injury, or it's going to take just some horrific fucking playing by Dalton in order for Fields to be thrown into this game. So with that, with knowing that your probably number one weapon is down, or just not getting started because your coach shoots himself in the foot, what's the game plan today? What's the attack? Do you start? Everybody's going to bitch that we're not running, but everybody also is bitching that this offensive line is really not that good. Right. So what's the play attack? What's your play style today? How do you get after it?
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing that I struggle with the most with Matt Nagy's offense is it's if he doesn't run the football, they're very one-dimensional. Yep. And you know what to expect. You're going to have guys in motion to try to get the defense to adjust. And you saw it a little bit last year. I think it was Dan Orlovsky or Brian Baldinger who highlighted it last season in a video on Twitter, where you've got Nagy sending multiple guys in motion and the fucking defense just stays where it is. They're not buying any of this shit. They've seen this too. Some of these defenses have seen this too many times, and
yeah,
I don't know. To me, I'm trying to have a positive outlook. I really am, but it's difficult, man. Knowing, you see teams that come out in the preseason, and I hate to use this as an example, but the fucking Bills game. The Bills had Mitch prepared to come out and execute a simplified game plan. Tell me,
I'm just listening to my coaches and learning the playbook and I'm just going to do it.
Tell me in Mitch's time here in Chicago when he came out in a preseason game and looked like he did.
Denver's the only one.
He did once in his fucking time here in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that goes back to coaching. I mean, you're talking about a game plan. The only game plan I can see being positive for the Bears is to run the ball and keep that Rams offense off the field. And then when the Rams are on the field, get pressure and get turnovers.
Yeah.
I want to address this with Torian here. So, Torian, this was Matt Nagy said this to Peter King a few weeks ago. That, they're not really in a rush, and it could be week 15 before he gets some live action. So
not if you're 0-4.
Yeah. That scares me to death. That scares me to death.
I don't like. So I know it's like the basis of Torian's question, right? There's no way that they wait to week 15, no matter what the record is, right? If they're 0-4, 0-3. Like the city is going to be on fire, and people are going to be calling for his head, no matter what, right?
I mean, you lose to the Bengals, dude. Even if the Bengals are getting better and putting pieces around Joe Burrow there in Cincinnati, you lose to the Bengals with Dalton under center. Yeah. I don't know how you go into Cleveland with Dalton still under center.
Yeah,
I mean, unless you're just completely naive and blocking everything out, there's no freaking way. I mean, they won't let them leave Soldier Field. Can you imagine? There's no freaking way. They booed Nick Foles for getting put in a preseason game. If you stick Dalton out there in the season opener against the Bengals and he stinks up the joint, there's no way. And part of me selfishly would love to see Justin Fields in Cleveland because as long as KB comes through, you boys from the Barfly Tailgate Show are going to be out there. So
let me throw that last one back up by Aldo real quick. Let's just go ahead and mention this real quick. So everybody in the chat, everybody who's joined us in the past or joined us today or will join us in the future. Fuck, if you come back to this thing, a big, we just figured this out the other day because we're, because we're
Quick
fucking
maths.
stupid. Yeah, because we're stupid. But this is we're going. Today starts year 5 of the Barfly Tailgate Show. So for
I think
everybody
it's only year 2 or 3 for me and KB, but
yeah, that's okay. You guys, I mean, we're gonna extend you on your 5th-year deal when it comes around, and don't worry about it. Like we're not gonna
say 5th-year option.
Yeah,
you gotta have your star, right?
Hey,
so.
You're on the field. You're on the field, so don't worry about it. But thanks so much to Aldo for giving us the platform, and to the boys that fucking join us every week, guys. Greatly appreciated, and it's been a good run, man. And Aldo picked up the 5th-year option. We're all still here. We got he's kind of I don't even want to say that because then he's gonna be like, that's a low blow.
He says, I ain't no Ryan Pace, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, man, it's been an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this. From the jump, I can still remember Aldo reaching out to me to do some derogatory play-by-play for 100 proof, 5 years ago, and next thing you know, I'm talking to Bobby about doing a segment on Barfly Tailgate, and then freaking 4 weeks after that, I'm a permanent fixture. And I mean, it's to be able to do this every week, man. To chill with you guys in the chat.
Yeah,
I love it, man. Happy to be here. Thank you, Eldo. Everybody else, Barroom Network, the guys that paved the way before us.
Yep.
Love doing it.
So they call Badge up off the practice squad, it sounds like.
Yeah. I remember reaching out to Badge, and honestly, it was Diddy who I think you and Diddy were like, whatever, on Twitter, and then he's like, "Yo, what about this guy? Like, he does football announcing and this," and we had like little Nicky, and Nicky was never reliable. I love Nicky, but Nicky would fucking show up half the time and then not the other half the time. You know what I mean?
Clover.
Yeah.
I'm holding out, man.
Yo, just disconnect AC's feed real quick.
But
either way, it's long story. We can get into all that, but greatly appreciate everybody being around, and it's on to a new season, man, and to have the Sunday night game. There's no way the NFL didn't think that Fields wasn't starting this game. Come on, man. Just to be thrown into this position. I think tonight is going to be, I don't know. Like, I'm just so fucking torn. If you're in the chat right now, give us your score predictions. Dalton stays in the whole game, so no crazy shit, right? Dalton fucking starts, stays in the whole game. Off of what you've seen, what are your score predictions? The only person in I think it's the ESPN side of it or whatever those picks was Sam Macho. Went ahead and picked the Bears to win. We love Sam. Sam's been on the show. He's a fucking.
It's like Dicka. Dicka always picks the Bears no matter who they're playing against. It's the same. Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy. Hold up.
I wish I could.
Hold up. He just.
He's still blacked out from last night.
There he is. He's moving now.
It's working.
There he is.
Hey, what?
I said KP was still blacked out from last night. How you feeling, man? How's things today?
Yeah, that's big facts, man. I don't want to look at alcohol for a little bit. That's how I feel.
Hell yeah, dude! We're just getting into this game tonight, and everything that we see. We got everybody in the chat is putting their score predictions up. So far, we got Rams 21, Bears 7, Rams 28, Bears 17, 17-24 Bears from Caesar.
Oh shit!
If for me, right, and I know it's a little early, but I'm thinking, Mike Texter 34-20 Bears. see, on my side of it, dude, it's if we win, this defense has to step up big. So I would be on like the low scoring side of things, right? And the Bears winning the game, and Stafford just being Stafford, everybody that we thought that he was before. So I don't know, man. What's your thoughts, KB? Where do you see us, going today? And what's up, man? He fell asleep.
I think he's frozen or something.
Yeah, he was
I told
frozen.
you, it's messing up on me today. I don't know what's going on, man. My laptop's drunk like I am. Fellas, I might have to.
You want to hop out and hop on your phone?
Yeah, I might have to reboot real quick, y'all. Let me get this fixed.
We'll wait for you to come back.
KB's struggling this morning, bro. I thought it was Badge that was texting us yesterday saying he was going to be hungover today. Did I miss that wrong, or was that KB that was saying that?
KB sent something saying like I'm drinking everything in sight right now. I thought, and I was like,
I
oh,
thought it
shit.
was Badge because he was talking about how bad Syracuse looked. I was like, damn.
Dude, we went out to this little island out here on the boat yesterday, and we got back last night, went out to dinner, and I think by like 9 o'clock I was fucking passed out on the couch, man. I was just done.
I hate you.
It was just a day of like straight sun and chilling and drinking and whatever, and but it was
hard knock life over here.
Yeah, dude, but it was the first time that we were all out again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of the whole COVID pneumonia thing. It was the first time all of us have left the house in like fucking weeks, man. So it was good. It was a good little deal, and just out there doing it. That ECU game yesterday too. ECU with
that was
Gamecocks.
a hell of a game. Right.
Dude, we were watching
I think
that.
it was the last second field goal.
Gamecocks hit it. Yep.
Yeah, that was a good game. I think we played them in 2 weeks.
Did you guys? I don't know how much truth it is to it, or if it was a fake quote. But did you guys see this quote about Jalen Ramsey saying, "I'm going to show Bears fans who their real number 2 is"? Or
I think he said that in the offseason when everyone was talking about Mooney beating, because Mooney beat him on that route,
double move, yeah.
And then we didn't have a quarterback that could hit the, so it didn't amount to much. But I guess Bears fans have been like talking all kinds of shit to Ramsey all offseason about Mooney whooping his ass on that route, and then Ramsey was just like, I mean, he ain't even your number 1 is what he's thinking. Man, my voice I know it cracked there.
I know, but he was saying how all these Bears fans are hitting him up in his in his DMs and that, talking shit about how Mooney just straight beat him on a double move and that. If you're in the chat, we're gonna play a little game. Let's pretend like Matt Nagy has his DMs are open. Tell us what you would send him right now. Matt Nagy's DMs are open. This chat is your fucking line to Nagy's DMs. This thing is going to get pretty brutal, I'm sure. But go ahead and tell us what you would tell Nagy today and going forward.
I'm going to start. Fuck you. That's it. 2 words. Fuck you.
That's right.
I mean, I would just send 3 words. Start Justin Fields. I don't know. I'll try to be a little more classy. I don't.
Yeah.
Bad just coming out with it. Fuck you, middle finger emoji.
I'm over Matt Nagy, and it sucks because I know he's going to get a contract extension, and I know we're going to go through it for another 2 to 3 years before they say, all right, so here's our first one, right? 4,000 clovers. Let Laser call the plays and fucking start Justin Fields.
I think I would have to go with like a throwback Chris Berman gif, and it would just be like tick, 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 tick. And I would just have that bitch.
Nagy, don't be the play caller, mate.
Oh man.
Man, these guys in the chat are a little more respectful than I thought they would be. Somebody's mid paragraph right now, though. I think we know that.
It must be simple. Don't make me come look for you. That's all I will send them, man. Don't make me come look for you, dog. Do the right thing. That's all you got to do. Start Justin Fields and get play calling to somebody else, man. That's all you got to do. We'll win. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, the Bears right now, I think the line is at 8. the Rams are picked to win by 8.
That's kind of a high line, actually. I mean, I could see it being a touchdown, a field goal game in the NFL. 8 points is a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's too low.
Oh,
Well, I thought that the Cowboys Bucks line was too low. It was at like 9 at kickoff,
Yeah.
as far as I know, and it was a 2-point ball game. This is week 1. There's still people trying to work through the kinks of their offense. Now the Rams offense, from everything I saw last year, looked like a well-oiled machine, but I don't know how many of their starters played this preseason. And like
We'll
I said,
still
the
be working
offensive
kinks out
line.
of our offense around
That's
week
true
14,
because
so
Robinson and Montgomery and half our offense didn't even play this preseason. Yeah.
Dude, it takes 4 years to understand this offense. So I don't see
God
why
damn it.
I don't see why you guys think it's gonna be any better.
Right.
Surprised. Mule Skinner says he's surprised that the line isn't 28. Too low. Are you kidding me? That line is downright disrespectful. I don't know what he means.
You suck.
So you
That's
you
what
think
it
that
is.
it's
He thinks
so
it
it's
should be closer than that.
Okay,
I think Chubbs is
Yeah.
saying he thinks it should be closer than what it is.
then 8. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, that's it. I haven't looked at. I'm going to look at it here in a little bit, but I haven't looked at the over/unders on rushing or over/unders on passing or any of that stuff. I did see that, and our boy Terrence Young posted it too. That Dalton is part of the sit-em for the fantasy shows that are all on. I told him, how is he part of this? Who even drafted his ass? Like, how is that even a thing?
Unless you're in a 2-quarterback fucking 12-team league.
Yeah. Chicago and take your Denny's play menu with you. Oh, there's another thing to there's another shot to Nagy from Steve May, another DM. Chubb said the line should be at 6.5, maybe. Yeah, I agree with that, Chubbs. Maybe just 6.5 would probably be perfect. And who knows? I'm sure it'll adjust. But going from there, I thought I was a little surprised that it was 8. I think this defense is going to score today. And I think that's going to kind of hype up and get us into this game. We all know how Bears fans travel. And I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of, it's going to be, that stadium's going to be popping with some Bears fans, man. And a little excitement up there.
Let's look at this, guys. So the Rams have a new quarterback. It's not Jared Goff anymore.
Yeah.
It's Matthew Stafford, and we got some highlights from Stafford against the Bears last season. So we'll roll into those. I mean, Stafford's a decent quarterback. I mean, does he pick up a lot of points late in games? Yes, he does. But he's familiar with the Bears, having played against them twice a year for his whole career.
I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league.
I do too. I would have loved to have seen Matt Stafford come here. I would have taken him over Andy Dalton.
They said they were serious
about.
Then
you want to talk about a situation where Justin Fields is learning behind someone?
Man.
I mean, I'd rather see him learning behind Stafford than Dalton. Now, Stafford and Dalton in their careers, very similar. It's not like they've had much success, in the playoffs or anything like that. But I like Stafford a lot better than I do Andy Dalton. I think, whatever.
I don't think Stafford's even made the playoffs. But that was more a detriment of the team around him and the coaching staff. I mean, the Lions, they had a good coach with who is that? Caldwell, I think his name was.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell.
He was a good coach, and they let him walk out the door, and now they just keep bringing in clown after clown. I mean, I have a tough time taking the Lions seriously. I mean, I feel like those are wins, but Stafford is a hell of a quarterback. The only way you can beat Stafford is to hit him. And I mean, so that's why
I agree with you, man. I mean, the majority of fans or just NFL people know that fucking Stafford is a good quarterback, man. He's not the reason Detroit was always so fucking bad. He was the only reason why they weren't 0-16 like 4 seasons in a row. And I think he's got a fresh start, even though it's late in his career. He's got a fresh start, but he does get those, those happy feet, and you put pressure on him, you start to kind of, get after him, and he feels that, those hits coming through, man. It's obviously a different game for him. He's not one that kind of brushes it off or uses it as fire to keep going.
Sometimes he trusts his arm a little too much, and it gets him in trouble. A lot like Jay Cutler was here. Try to force the ball in there.
He can make all the throws. That's the problem. I say overconfidence is the fool's thinking of pride. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm just.
Was this so King Pookie's question? I want to say it was Kyle Long.
Well, I mean, if you think back, we traded how many first round draft picks away for Khalil Mack? What, 2 or 3? And then we just traded 2 for Justin Fields. So it's difficult to address the offensive line in the first round when you don't even have a first round pick. And then as far as second round picks, we grabbed James Daniels, who we still don't know. Is he good or bad or average? Just depends on the day. We grabbed Cody Whitehair in the second round. He's been a solid piece. He can play center, guard. And then after that, I mean, we just been, I don't know. It's difficult to fix your O-line in the first round when you don't have a first round pick, to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think so too, man. I think that's a good little comparison by Chubbs there too about Dalton. But I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about last year, right? We had a line full of undrafted free agents and 7th round picks. I mean, there was one point in the season where all these dudes were out, and we were literally relying on undrafted free agents, and they did it. They pulled it together. They were playing pretty well. I know Texter had put in there earlier about the 4 games of over 30 points, the first time since the 1960s, and that's the part. I honestly think that's the part that the Bears organization is like holding on to with Nagy. Like, look, this dude can put up points, and now he has more weapons. And although that it's sloppy and there's play calls that we all know are shit here and there, right? The dude still put up that many points, and you're like, I kind of wish that you weren't in the middle, but that's just kind of how Bears seasons have always been.
They fucking celebrated.
It's like
getting out.
Yeah, it's like this
6-game win streak. I mean, our the guys at the top of our organization were fucking. Hey, we got out of a 6-game win streak. We think Matt Nagy and Ryan
6-game losing streak.
Or that's what I mean. 6-game losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
The guys that can lead us in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, man. I think they're one of the last organizations that hit the panic button though, and they just ride it out, man. They fulfill contracts with these coaches, like we've said. There's when's the last time a coach was released mid-season?
We've never fired a coach in season.
Exactly, and I think that they're just one of them that kind of ride it out and like, hey, this is what we said we were gonna do. Fucking push through the storm. At the end of the year, we'll see what we got next. And I'm hoping that Nagy doesn't take these same traits to the quarterback position, and just feel that as long as Dalton can stand up, he can play. Because, I mean, you got a new toy. It's time to fucking use it, man.
And
Yeah, I totally
I don't know where it's all coming from, because every time I hear Nagy talk about Justin Fields, he's just as giddy as all of us are about seeing this guy play and getting him on the field. I don't know if he's trying to buy himself more time, or I mean, I feel like he wants to play the kid too. So I don't know who it's coming, if it's coming from. I mean, surely the front office isn't telling him, look, we're not going to start the kid. I mean, I know you had this plan in place that, look, this is, I guess maybe that's what he did when they were moving up to draft him, was, look, we did this in Kansas City. Let him sit. Now, and we already touched on this. It's not the exact same situation.
Right.
But my only thought is Nagy went to the front office and was like, "Let me get my guy. We'll let him sit for a year, and then we'll play him just like I did in Kansas City." Blah blah blah, and he bought himself more time. But I mean, even if you've got a plan laid out, when you see the way this guy plays every time he's on the field, when you see the way the team rallies around him, when you see defensive guys. I think I saw an interview with Eddie Jackson last week with somebody, and he was talking about what he sees Justin Fields playing like already, and he's excited for the way. I mean, he'll just continue to grow and get better. So it's very confusing to me. Trying to read between the tea leaves of what's going on at Howells Hall, and because I don't understand how you want to put your best 22 guys on the field, and Justin Fields is part of those best 22. There's no question about it. Sometimes, I mean, he missed the protection one time, and he came back and learned from it and fixed it. What else have you seen in the preseason to not show you that this guy is ready? And throw him out there.
Yeah,
I don't get it. And
I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this for a couple weeks, and I know. Yeah,
it's going to get redundant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize
to
our fans.
No, I mean it's how it is, man. And I know everybody in the chat's we're gonna get sick of it. Everybody in the chat's gonna get sick of it. But I have a feeling we're all gonna be on this road for a while, right? And this whole I won't even call it a quarterback controversy. It's just a Nagy controversy of who the hell you're gonna actually put in there. And the fear is that Dalton, I guess it's really not an issue, but that he skeets out a couple wins and this thing goes even longer. But I mean, winning's not a problem, right? So it's just going to be I don't know.
Winning is the cure-all, man.
Yeah.
He comes out and he throws for 400 yards on the Rams and goes nuts, and nobody bats an eye. It's, oh, well, I guess Dalton really can do it. Then, you go out and do the same thing next week against the fucking Bengals, and it's okay. Yeah, we're okay. We're in good shape. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's like you said, winning is the cure-all. You can't fault somebody if the ship is going right. We all see that the ship isn't going right, and that's the problem.
I was just reading Chubb's comment.
Well,
yeah, but I honestly don't know.
I was listening to those press conferences from last week, and Pace was talking about, we like what we see from Dalton, but we also like what we see from Fields. What our plan is to go forward with Dalton and also look over to the side and say, hey, look what we've got in this guy. He said something to that effect.
Yeah, so Dalton said he's not looking over his shoulder.
Well, I think he's been looking over his shoulder since draft night. I mean, he can say what he wants. Dalton's been a complete professional about this. I'll be completely honest. I mean, if I was in that situation, I can't say I'd be as good as the guy as he is. I mean, not only does he got who he knows is a better talent sitting behind him, the whole city's behind Justin Fields.
Yeah.
The team is getting behind Justin Fields. I mean, and Dalton, they came in, they told him he was QB1, and he's like, yo, QB1, man. Look at the depth chart, I guess. But I
didn't hear nobody booing after that 75-yard bomb.
Suck a dick.
Yeah. I want to address Ron's question on the screen real quick. I've heard this in the media over the last couple weeks. People talking about Fields playing behind an O-line that the team isn't sure of. Well, I mean, if anything, that's a positive because Fields gives you a better opportunity when a play breaks down to use not only his arm but his legs as well.
We saw it last year with Folds and Trubisky.
But I mean, he's not going to give you a 50-yard fucking touchdown run.
I really don't think so, though, because, look, if they were so concerned about their offensive line, where are the fucking moves to make it better?
Right.
We signed Jackson Peters.
Who they get? What are they going to do to make
Peters.
it better?
We signed Peters.
Some people are saying Larry Borum should be starting our left tackle. Yeah. And I was thinking of that because I was listening to Hogan Johns last week, and number one, they sounded very concerned about Goldman's knee, like
Oh yeah.
very concerned on Hogan Johns, and they know more than I do. They're there. But number two, they were talking about Larry Borum maybe pushing for that left tackle spot. If he can lock down that left tackle spot, and then when Tevin Jenkins comes back, you slide him in at right tackle.
Yeah, where he should be.
Exactly. I was like, damn, that would actually work out. I mean, you got a 5th round left tackle, but we ran with the 7th round left tackle for the last how many years? I mean,
7 years.
Hey.
so if Borum can slide in there at left, I got a little excited about that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn, if Borum can go in there, that'd be nice because Tevin can play his actual position.
The funny thing is the Jason Peters, Larry Borum is more of a Pat Mahomes, Alex Smith situation than anything. And you got the Hall of Famer at one position who is been one of the greatest for the past 15 how many fucking years he's been there, and you got Larry Borum coming in, and we had 2nd round picks on the guy. You know, he didn't let up a pressure all last year. He seems to have the right body type, the right build, the right mentality. Hell, that's more Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes than anything. That's that's more the shit to be excited about, because hell, you probably got a franchise left tackle and a franchise right tackle on the draft, and you don't even fucking know it. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm more excited about that shit than I am Dalton teaching fucking Justin Fields something.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all would be,
yeah.
But
well, the question about putting Fields behind this O line, we saw it last year with Trubisky and Foles. Foles couldn't. He was a statue back there. Now Dalton's not that inept.
He's 3 yards.
Right. Dalton's not that bad. He's able to scramble a little bit, but Justin Fields runs a 4.4.
Yeah. I just don't know what the Bears could do to, other than by, making some sort of crazy trade to improve their offensive line more than they have right now. You know what I mean?
And we don't have the assets
have no
to
cap
trade.
space. Like, they just had to fucking change some of Jimmy Graham's salary into a signing bonus to give him $4 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Number one. And I know the cap's fluid. I know it. I know it's fluid.
It's really not. Not when you fucking get buried like this, it ain't.
Right. Not when you fucking have moved all this money to the back end of players' contracts, and now you're coming up against it. It's not fluid.
I mean, everybody who wanted Leno gone, right? And I get it. Right. I get it. He was what you're paying him for the next 2 fucking years. Yep. He's still getting paid by this organization for 2 more years.
Whether he's here or not, still getting fucking paid.
Yeah. So, like, you're paying these dudes, and you still have people on the contracts that aren't even on the fucking team anymore.
Robert Quinn.
Yeah, Robert Quinn's going to be a fucking pocket eater forever.
Well, but they can get out of that, though, after the season.
Next season. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, that's something I didn't know.
Gibson's on his heels.
Oh, yeah. Travis Gibson's on his
heels. And hopefully so.
Great question here from Grant Sims. Aaron Donald, Sam Mustipher.
You should be worried about Aaron Donald against anybody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Aaron Donald against
you could be the best center in the game.
Sam Mustipher, to me, was a guy who I was excited about at the end of last season. I thought he came in and played really well, but early on here, and it could be because he wasn't playing with his normal guys, whatever, it just didn't seem. I mean, he would completely miss his first level block to get to the second level, and it's almost like he was doing it like that's what he was supposed to do. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you've got to at least knock the guy out of the way or something. I'm not sold. I'm not completely sold on Sam Mustipher right yet. He's my birthday buddy. I got it. It's now that it's the regular season, we'll get to see a little bit more out of him. What Coach Nagy wanted with Andy Dalton.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm more keen to judge him off of, having Cody Whitehair on one side, who is probably going to be the ultimate sounding board, and then having what we feel is an immense talent, possibly in James Daniel on his right. James Daniel struggled at center. Cody Whitehair plays center, so you'll have both of them in your ear telling you, hey, this is what we see, this is what we're going to do. And you got to go, you got to listen to that much experience, especially coming from Cody Whitehair. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna reserve my right to judge him after the game. You know, plus, like you said, if Andy Dalton can only be judged after playing the game, then I guess that's how we gonna look at the rest of the goddamn thing.
I do,
Yeah.
Grant. I want Fields behind the center. I don't care who the center is.
I don't know.
take Fields
Yeah.
all day.
I seen Grant's comment though. Grant doesn't want him to play this year. And I don't know if that's a line thing or what, you know, or a learning thing or what you know, his deciding factor is that 100% he doesn't want him on the field. But I mean, I want him behind this O-line.
I can't. You know, so listen, at the beginning, I would have been singing those praises of the best thing would be Justin Fields sitting behind Dalton for the entire year, but I can't remember what my man's name is. He's on like ESPN or some shit. He said it the best to me. People who keep saying that this situation is Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes, I'm gonna give you just this little info. Dalton is nowhere near what Alex Smith was that year that they drafted Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Alex Smith led the league in passing yards. He had led the league in completion percentage. I think it was over 70% or some shit. Took a team to the playoffs with a 13 or 14 win record, whatever the fuck it was. It was something outrageous. They locked up the number one seed. Patrick Mahomes came in 13-16 or 13-15 or whatever the fuck it was in college. The man admitted his second season that he could not read defenses. He was playing backyard football without knowing what the fuck was going on. He just knew throw the ball as hard as I can. Somebody's going to play. Justin Fields is technically a better prospect coming out than what Patrick Mahomes is. Justin Fields was looked at as a pro-ready quarterback from the outset, which is something that Patrick Mahomes wasn't. So we have to stop trying to compare these two situations like that is the case. Patrick Mahomes at that point, nobody knew was better than Alex Smith. Only the people who saw that kid play at practices said, hey, he's going to be something special. We all seen from our boy Braggs to anybody who's recorded or been at a fucking practice. Justin Fields is the better fucking quarterback. It's blatantly obvious. We've seen it through the preseason. It is blatantly obvious. It's not the same situation, friends. I'm sorry about that. If you want to see the man sit the entire season,
yeah,
it's not going to benefit us in the least. In the slightest.
That was from Greeny. I touched on it earlier, but you broke it down way better than I did, KB. So shout out to you on that one. I mean, I didn't even touch on the coming out of college. Justin Fields is a better prospect than Patrick Mahomes was. I mean, there's no way to beat around it. Just like you said, Patrick Mahomes still didn't know how to read a defense. He was a gunslinger in college. I think Shane Marsaw said it on this very network that he was either going to be a Hall of Famer or he's going to bust out of the league in 3 years because the way he played in college, he was that Brett Favre-esque gunslinger. He's going to throw it out there, and I love it when I'm full screen. He's going to throw it out there and get his and whatever happens.
Yeah, so I know we haven't
take over
touched
the
on it a lot.
producing AC if you want to do
Nah,
the.
I'm just a pretty face, man. I can't be getting behind the scenes and doing all that producing stuff. I'll let you handle that.
Hey, so before I know we're gonna move into Badge of Honor here in a few minutes, but before we do that, let's touch on these running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers. I feel like we've obviously done a lot with the O-line and quarterback.
There's other teams.
Yeah. Let's do the other half of it. Let's do the other part of the offense here. With these running backs, Montgomery. I mean, shit, we're almost a running back by committee at this point. Even though we all know Montgomery could put up 1,000 yards, I think the amount of talent that's back there and things that we want to see weapon wise. And then this tight end room, man. And then you can't forget these wide receivers. They're facing a pretty steep challenge tonight too, man. So, AC, why don't you start us off, man? Running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. What's the key to the game for you in that aspect of whether it was Fields or Dalton? Who's your guys that you really need to step up?
I mean, Jalen Ramsey is going to shut half your field down. As far as wide receivers go, whether he's on Mooney or Allen Robinson, he's going to be, to me, he's the best corner in the league. So you need your other wide receivers who he's not on to step up and make plays. Marquise Goodwin, you're back in the league now. Let's see what you can do. Damiere Byrd, we're giving you a shot. Who's this third and fourth wide receiver who have been a revolving door the last few years, behind Robinson. Actually, before we drafted Mooney, it was every wide receiver other than Robinson. It was just a revolving door, bringing 1-year free agent guys in and seeing who can stick. These guys need to step up and play well in order for us to be successful. And that'll also, if we can get the ball out quick, that'll help offset the pass rush of the Rams. So as far as Mustafa against Aaron Donald, the best way to fix that is to get the ball out of your hands before he can get there and hit you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think a lot of these quick passes, some of these screen swing passes, maybe utilize some of these running backs. I seen somebody in the chat. I don't want to flip back to it now because I'm on my phone and you guys see me do this the whole time. But I don't think the power run game is going to be a thing that Nagy will ever use.
Oh no. Zone.
I mean, granted, I think we can all make a case for it in some sense, but I don't think it's a thing that he'll ever use.
Well, they kept Holtz for some reason. I don't.
Yeah, I know, man, and I think we see Robinson come out and have I think he's gonna have a big game, dude. I think they're gonna, go to him, especially if they got Jalen on Mooney. They're gonna try to get those, but the problem is, kind of boils back to what we said before. It depends on the pressure and depends on when they can get it to him, because without giving Dalton some time, there's really not going to be anything downfield that we can get after. KB, what do you think, man?
I'll say, man, that the running back situation, I'm actually a big fan of, man. Seeing Khalil Harper play during the preseason, like I said, arguably probably one of the best players that we had. The tight end situation, I am happy as hell about Jesper Horsted making this roster, man. And the kid can be a walking playmaker, and if he develops right, you get the big body and commit, and you get somebody who can stretch the field like Horsted could. That's tough. That's real tough. Wide receivers wise, listen. Ramsey can be got. We all know that. We've seen it, even though we all know the man's gonna have a bone to pick with Mooney, all because of us being Bears fans talking all the shit that we talk. So he's gonna have it out for Mooney, y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know that now. So if you see that man getting
Mooney gonna be like Williams.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you see that man getting hands put on him early and often, it is because Jalen Ramsey is like, nah, bro, I'm getting in your head now. This shit's over with. But he can be got. This is probably the fastest wide receiver group we've ever had. And they say that's another thing which could be very big.
Yeah.
It'd be big in the short passing game, very big. Dump it off and let them go to work. Damiere Byrd is great in space. So is Marquise Goodwin. And we all know where A-Rob is, so we don't even got to talk about that. That's solid production, especially if he has his head on right. To me, the biggest X factor is going to be Mooney. It's going to be whatever he does with fucking Ramsey all night, because it's pretty much what I feel like what's going to be the matchup. And then what's my man, the one dude we all was shitty about picking up, Perriman.
Oh yeah,
he's here. I didn't like the move because I was an Adams fan, but he's Kevin White. Let the dude run down the field. Let the dude run down the field and do streaks and fades. If he can run away from somebody, let him run away from somebody and just throw the bitch up.
Yeah,
So
I think it was Chubbs who just said it, but I'm in total agreement. I think the tight end room is the strength of that offense.
yeah,
And as I mean, granted, with Dalton or with Fields, I think it's a good position to have the strength. Dalton being the veteran who can't really whatever, right? Has those guys there for to get out of a situation, and Fields has those guys there for the confidence piece. So I think that tight end room is a big. It's like one of the strongest points of this offense. Badge, go over to you, man. I know we're gonna run into Badge of Honor. You pick your spot or you run right into it, whatever you want to do, brother.
Yeah, no, I'll be real quick. So, I 100% agree with you, Bobby and Chubbs. I really do believe that the tight end room, I think, is a strength of this offense. But it's going to come down to how they're used in this god awful fucking scheme that Matt Nagy has. You've seen running backs forgotten. You've seen wide receivers that should be targeted forgotten. You didn't see Cole Kmet, who was our second round pick, but our top pick from the draft last year, used very minimally. You've seen the players swapped in and out play after play after play. There's no rhyme or reason to what happens in this offense at all. You've seen it even in play design. To me, the tight ends need to be a factor, not only in the middle of the field, but in the red zone. Allen Robinson needs more targets in the red zone, to me. So I think there's a lot of questions here offensively, but again, it's all going to go back to the play caller that we're not super happy with. So
Yeah.
with that, I am super excited. Our first badge of honor of the season, and I'm super excited
Yes, sir.
to give this one out, man. Ed Yakaki, this guy, man, is a cancer survivor. And not only is he a one-time, two-time, no, he is a fighter, man. His story, guys, is absolutely amazing. And we're going to bring him onto the show right now. Our man, Ed. Ed,
Hey, guys, how you
welcome
doing?
to the Barfly Tailgate Show, brother. And
Thank you so much.
What's up,
just,
Ed?
Pleasure to be on here, and thank you so much.
What you've gone through, in your years on life, man, most people don't get to do that.
Yeah.
And you've done that, man, and you're so positive, so uplifting. I see it in your tweets, in your Facebook posts, man. Tell us, what this has been like for you, and how it is that you're able to stay so positive throughout everything, man.
Yeah, funny, right? You have cancer 3 times, and it's been one hell of a ride and a roller coaster. It started way back in 2008. I was actually hiding my symptoms from my family because I was embarrassed to talk about it. And I was having, diarrhea and all different kinds of issues going to the bathroom. And finally, I started to try to seek out help. And when I first tried to seek out help, like the doctors would look at me because I'm 6'3", about 280 pounds. And they're like, well, you look completely fine. And I'm like, I'm definitely not completely fine. I tried to figure out what else was going on. Like, no, maybe I'll stop eating because I was afraid to eat. Like, and look at, I don't know if, Ryan, you saw like my post, you see the size of me. It doesn't look like I miss a meal. You know what I mean? I don't miss a meal. Big guy.
Yep.
And you're supposed to be like a guy and you're invincible and you're not supposed to show emotion. And all of a sudden, I'm trying to seek out help. And finally, when I got diagnosed, they're like, you have a 3-inch tumor in your colon and it's advanced stage for cancer that's already spread to your liver. So, it was like just a shit blizzard of emotions to go through. And, and I struggled with it for a long time.
The support, from your family and your friends has to be something, going through that you need, you said you hid your symptoms, but, finally, letting your family know, which for you holding all that in as a man, I mean, we've heard that for years, how,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be tough. You're,
Yeah,
as a guy, you're not supposed to cry. You're not all that stuff, you know,
definitely.
telling your family. I mean, that's got to be one of the most difficult things you've ever had to do, because you don't know.
Yeah, I was actually at work one day, and I was to the point where I was trying to go to the bathroom like 30 times a day because I just couldn't get to the bathroom. I called my dad up, and I'm an emotional wreck, and I'm like, Dad, I'm in so much pain. I need your help. And he drove me to the emergency room, and at that point, I had a GI doctor visit, but the visit wasn't for like 6 weeks, and they weren't. I called them up, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make it that long, and they're like, well, your appointment is your appointment. And I'm like, this is unreal. I don't know if I'm going to make it that
Yeah.
long. So the emergency room doctor was like, there's definitely something going on here. And I'm going to call the doctors. So it went from they couldn't see me to come in tomorrow. And then I got a sigmoidoscopy because I couldn't prep for a colonoscopy, and it showed how inflamed I was. And the doctor, because of my age, I just turned 30 years old. He was like, well, I think it's Crohn's disease, but it could be cancer. And like I said, it was stage 4 colorectal cancer.
Jeez, man. So like, I get like, I mean, you're obviously just a strong man, strong individual, right? I mean, I get
Yeah.
the holding it back at the beginning. What is like? So you beat it the first time, right? And you're like, I'm sure celebration. Fuck yeah, here we go, right? Back at it. Then the second
Very
time,
weird,
and
yeah.
dude, and how does like emotionally, and is it like, hey, here it is again, let's just go fucking destroy this thing again, or like how is it, I guess, emotionally and mentally draining to, like, it comes back and here we go, and the constant worry, like when they say it's gone, do you really believe them at this point, or are you just
Yeah, I
like,
know, right? You're like,
yeah,
is it really going? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But my
like
first
how,
diagnosis, it took like 2 years to get over, 2.5 years. And it really ruined my life. And I also, like, not only was the cancer trying to kill me, but it was also, I was letting it ruin my life. I was married, and I wasn't in the right place, in the right frame of mind at that point. And I was letting, people that cared about me and everything, I was ruining everything in my life because I wasn't in a good spot. I didn't like, obviously, I couldn't figure out why this happened to me. And I was so stuck on, because I have a permanent colostomy bag. Like, like my life's over now. Like, my life's over. This is unfair. This shouldn't happen to me. But then not realizing, like, you don't get to wake up every day, the next day.
right.
And then on top of that, no one gets to live the life that they really think they truly deserve. You have to make the most of it.
Yeah,
Man, your story, dude, that you're such a strong individual, and what you just talked about with not only dealing with cancer, with it coming in and out, which is bad all in its own, but it sounds like you were dealing with depression as well. I
Big time
mean,
depression.
when you're talking about having a colostomy bag, my wife's a nurse, so I may know more than your average civilian, but
Yes.
the things that you've been through, man, your story is just, and I have a buddy from high school. His father passed away from colon cancer, so your story has hit hard with me even. And I appreciate you sharing your story here.
I can't thank you guys enough, and Ryan, for reaching out to me and asking me to be on the show. It's an honor and a privilege to be on here, and I'm thankful for letting me come on here and tell my story a little bit.
Ed, I got a little bit of a surprise for you, man. So I just got the image for your custom football
Okay.
in my email, man. So I'm gonna pop it up here. So pay close attention to your screen. I think you're gonna like it, man. So this is what your custom badge of honor Barroom Network Allen Robinson Within Reach Foundation football will look like on either side, man. We got your number 54 on there, the Colon Cancer Coalition, your name. A-Rob's Foundation is sponsoring our badge of honor now. And
Wow,
of
that's
course,
amazing.
the ball girl, Jamie Giordani, always doing a phenomenal job on these for us.
She kills it.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Wow, I can't believe it.
We're excited, man. You know, to help, you know, you spread the word. We've got the coloncancercoalition.org scrolling at the bottom of the screen, guys, in the chat. So if you can please go there, and if you can make a donation, they were phenomenal. Ed recommended that link to post here for you guys to be able to go and if you can make a donation.
Great organization. That organization, wherever they're working at in the country, they keep almost all the funds in that community to help people in that area.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. That's huge. And that's something I think just from somebody on a local organization, a lot of people that don't realize that if you have a national organization, a lot of people think all the funds raised go to that national organization. And a lot of the times those local organizations are allowed to keep those funds so they stay local.
Yes.
And as a member of the United Way here in my community, all of our funds stay local, man. So it's phenomenal to hear that the Colon Cancer Coalition does the same thing, man. That is,
I don't know the exact number, but I know it's almost 100%. And that's what I have a friend that runs the walk, and she's the one that told me about it. You know, like, and she's like, that's why I decided to go with this organization, because of what they do for the community that's affected by the disease, you know?
Man, that's awesome, Ed. You know, like I said, man, we appreciate you coming on, you know, telling your story. I was able to get the
back
you a badge of honor shirt as well.
Heavyweight champion.
Yeah. No, everybody calls me the GOAT around here in my area, the GOAT.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm not the GOAT. It's just like I'm not really the GOAT. It's just like my medical history. You know, that's what's the GOAT. Yeah. I'm just a normal person, just like anybody else. And
nah, bullshit, man. You could have
you're a fighter.
You're you could have fucking, thrown in the towel many times, dude. And you fucking stay fighting and stay pushing and going, and that's not normal. It's not a normal person, man. I got friends who I have a close friend who gave up. Was like, no, that's it. I'm not doing any of it. I'm fucking going to bars. I'm drinking, and I'm just gonna let this thing fucking ride it till it's gone. It did nothing, and to choose to fight is the best fucking thing that happened, dude. And to continue, to not only scale the mountains of, depression and kind of distancing yourself and then bringing everybody back in, but to defeat cancer fucking 3 times, dude. You're a fucking champion.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. Thank you. But I really was at one time, like, kicking stones down the road, trying to figure out, like, had survivor's guilt. How come I survived this? How am I going to deal with the rest of my life? Like, with my circumstances. And then I get divorced and I'm drinking all the time because I don't want to face my life. I'm trying to ease the pain of what I'm dealing with. And I went through many different things trying to figure out, like, oh, this is how I'm going to deal with my life, not knowing, like, I need to confront it. I'm the only one that can change my life or what direction it's going to go. So, I ended up meeting my wife now, my new wife, Amanda, and she's been a real positive attitude in my life and really, really helped me come to terms with different things that I've been dealing with. But, I'm getting my life back together.
Yeah.
I'm going to doctors, and then I started having problems. I'm coughing and I'm having some back issues. And this is like 7. So you're talking 7 years after my stage 4 cancer diagnosis. And at that point, I already had 10 surgeries, and I did aggressive chemo. I did 30 rounds of radiation, and a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of surgeries. I had a liver operation on my birthday.
Jeez.
And I had that on my birthday. You know why I had that surgery on my birthday? so I could make it home to watch Jay Cutler play Green Bay his first game.
Old smoking
That's
Jay.
awesome, dude.
That's what kind of guy I am. I'm like going through all this crazy stuff and I'm miserable. But one thing I'm like holding on to is the Bears,
Right.
And when they traded for him, I have like 50 staples up my stomach, and I'm like telling my wife, I'm like, you're lucky I can't walk around right now because I'd be running around the house because they just traded for Jay Cutler, and we all know how that
had our
ended.
franchise QB.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey man, I just want to say
I'm sorry.
I just want to say real quick, man. You said you 6'3", about 250 plus, man. You sure you want to play linebacker for us? I know a guy.
Line help, so maybe
Yeah, some old line.
Right. I was gonna say,
I'd like to try him on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh my God, right?
I just
we ever have an offense?
Yeah. Right. But I just want to say from my perspective, man. Okay. I'll get this out real quick. From the things that I've seen from the career path that I've chosen, man, I know that right now that it's half the battle is mental, man. And the other half is your circle. So I'm thankful that you found who gave you that boost in your wife. I know your circle has to be just bananas. They have to be amazing. So I first of all, I just want to say, man, I'm thankful and I'm happy and proud of you, man. Just keep fighting, no matter what it is.
So much.
What's going on, and I know it's impacted me a little bit because we have a friend whose son was just diagnosed, and I've seen one of the greatest things I ever seen yesterday, and the Riley Strong pictures at a Notre Dame game where he didn't even show up to. He didn't even know that was going to happen.
Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to know
that support, and you feel that support,
Yeah. I just wanted to, you know what I'm saying, see if you could say a couple things to, you know what I'm saying, just to say this is what pushes you through it type deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like we were saying, Riley, what did you say? Riley Strong?
Yeah.
Yeah. What pushed me through it was like, I had to look at this as anything else in life, and I had to figure out how I was going to deal with it and push through it and attack it. Attack it as much as it was attacking me is what I did. And I didn't look back, and I had no regrets, and I just listened to everything my doctor said, nurses, and I absolutely annihilated it every time I had to. And every time I stepped to the plate, I was like, you can throw the kitchen sink at me, but I'm going to keep on bouncing back, And that's my mentality going in. And I take that mentality in everyday life, raising my kids now. It's so much, all the different things I've learned from the journey. It's so weird because I apply them to everyday life now.
Yeah. It's amazing, man. As we've said, all of us each individually, we've been following each other on social media, man, for quite a while. And, I was like, I just feel like this is the perfect scenario to reach out to Ed and get his story out and honor him, the way he deserves to be. I kind of want to spin this, man, because you're a Bears fan as well. Yeah. And, this team has gotten you through this. You sit here and you look at this matchup this week between the Bears and Rams, and you look at what's transpired over the course of this offseason. How do you feel about this team going into LA tonight?
I'm not really high on the Bears this year because of I don't know. I love Justin Fields, and I'm like, I cannot wait for him to get. That's what I'm waiting for, really. Is Justin Fields to come on the field. But like you talking earlier, the O line, it's like brutal. The last good left tackle we had was John Tate. Like how long ago was that? And they keep on, and what's his name? Charles Leno was decent, but like then you go on Twitter and you see like stuff he's missed. His availability was the best thing about him. But it's like you bring his coach in, he's got this crazy system, whatever you want to call it, and then he has like I don't know his play calling. I heard that. That's a whole nother discussion. But like you don't have the parts really around him. I don't really feel like either. Yeah, you got to be able to block for everybody, the run play, the pass play. You know, I heard Brad Biggs on the Chicago Tribune like, oh, well, it's hard to replace 5 offensive linemen. I don't know. Kansas City did 4 this year with a blink of an eye. Right? Didn't even think about it. And I'm like, man, they just replaced everybody on their offensive line. But, you know, I love the Bears defense, love their line, love Khalil Mack, Hicks, Eddie Goldman. You know, it's like, damn, he's hurt. You know, not Robert Quinn. You're like, you know, he's always on the injury report. They're supposed to be the strength of the team, the defensive line. It's like, how many times are you going to trot that team out there and that line and make them have to play double headers? Is what I'm saying.
I know, dude. It's been, you know, I mean, throughout the preseason in the offs. I mean, I think everybody at the end of last season thought for sure that Nagy and Pace could possibly be gone.
Yes.
And then, you know, the crazy press conference happened, you know, to fast forward to here, it's just like, good God, like you go from super low, they draft Fields, they get Tevin Jenkins, they have an okay draft, to get to here, and you're just like,
Jason Peters,
like, this is where we're at. Like a 39-year-old
I live in South Jersey.
Tackle.
I live in South Jersey, and I've watched Jason Peters the last, you know, all my family, they're Eagles fans, most of them. And I've been watching Jason Peters the last 5 years. Dude's a Hall of Famer. He was taking himself out of games. He wasn't completing games. And I'm like, the Bears, that's what their big grand surprise, or like, you know, like that's what
that's their plan.
Jason Peters right now, you know, he was taking himself out of games.
Yep.
Yeah, I think with the Peters thing, man, they just pulled up to the drive-thru and tried to get a number 1, but there was no more number 1s left, you know. And then they're like, "Well, hey, you know," and the guy's like, "Well, the kitchen's
they pull
closed,
up the
man.
drive-thru 10 minutes before closing time."
Like this is all we got left, you know. And they're like, or it's like 10:35, and you're like, "Hey, you got any more hash browns?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got 1." And you're like, "All right, let me get it." Like I think that's basically how it all played out. You know, of what to get.
That
but
number 1 must have been Richard Schwartz.
Yeah, Ed, give us your score prediction for tonight, and then any shout outs you want to send out there, man. But give us your score prediction and any shout outs that you got.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm thinking the Rams are going to beat them 23-10 or something like that. I mean, the Bears usually do great playing the Rams, but like Matthew Stafford, he's had success with the Bears, you know, throwing the ball. And then, you know, Aaron Donald's just, oh, my God. Again, he's a game wrecker, you know.
He's a beast.
Doesn't matter who he's playing against. He just wrecks every game. And shout-outs, my buddy Mike May. He's my best friend since 2nd grade. He's been there for me. My father, Ed Yakaki, he never missed any treatment, any surgery. He never took a day off unless I asked him to. Like, you need a day off. My wife, Amanda Yakaki, my stepmom, Donnie Yakaki, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Terry and Tom Brown. They're like my inner circle. And I'm so thankful for every day. My son, my son EJ, he's Edward the Fourth, and my daughter Evelyn Mary Yakaki. I had kids after all my diagnosis.
That's awesome.
Man.
That's amazing.
That's awesome, man. Again, man, we can't thank you enough, man. We were so happy to have you on, and help you share your story and honor you, man.
It's not over yet. My story.
Bears win tonight. But,
I got a couple more things to talk about with my story. If you guys don't mind.
Oh, go right ahead, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was saying, like, so 7.5 years went by, and I was having problems breathing, and I was having back issues, and I didn't know what was going on. And one would perk up in a day, and then I would worry about that one, and I would let the other one slide. So I'm getting ready to get married again. I got my life back together again, and I became an advocate for cancer, and I've been all over the country trying to help other people and telling my story and different things like that. You know, like my life came full circle. So then I'm having problems. My back's bothering me. I can't breathe. So then I have sinus surgery, and the doctor's like, I don't like that you're breathing still like this after his surgery. So he sends me to a pulmonary doctor, and he doesn't like my history. Obviously, it's crazy history. He's like, so I'm going to run tests. So they found a nodule in my throat at the time, and so they're like, you need to have surgery on it. So I get the surgery on my throat, get my thyroid taken out, but it's not like regular thyroid cancer. It's an incurable thyroid cancer that I got diagnosed with. And I'm taking pain medicine in the hospital, but I'm not taking pain medicine for my surgery. I'm taking it for my back because my back's bothering me and I don't know what's going on with it. So, and I'm going to physical therapy. I did chiropractor. I did acupuncture. I was doing all these different avenues on trying to figure out what was going on in my back, and all they were trying to do was give me pain medicine. I'm like, I don't want pain medicine. I want to figure out what's going on with my back. So finally, my thyroid doctor's like, I'm going to do a PET scan of you. And it took a couple months because that kind of doctor doesn't get a PET scan done. Yeah. So I had a hard time approving it. And then I went to a back specialist, and he was like, I'm going to do your whole back until the insurance company, tells me I can't. So then I'm getting a PET scan done. And at this point at my house, I'm standing up sleeping because I can't sleep in my bed. And I would sit there and I'd watch my wife sleep all night. And I'd be standing up. And I'd be sleeping like on like the furniture, trying to stand up. That's how much pain I'm in. So ended up getting the PET scan finally. And then it showed a lesion on my back. And I was almost like, I was happy that I had a lesion on my back because I know I wasn't going nuts because I was getting misdiagnosed. And you're talking about a guy that already got diagnosed with 2 cancers. Wow. So this could happen to anybody, you got to be your own advocate on what's going on with your body is what the moral of the story is. So what happened was I got ambulance to University of Pennsylvania Hospital, met a neurosurgeon. And he's like, Edward, I usually take a cautious approach about this, but if I don't, I feel like you're going to be paralyzed in the next couple weeks. So then I have this crazy spine surgery, fusion, cut it out, put it back together, and they're like, oh, well, I think it's benign. So then what happens is on my birthday, I go back to see the doctor. So in the morning, my wife and I were trying IVF because I can't have kids normal from all the stuff I've had, but I was able to freeze sperm just in case that I ever needed to, So my wife, Amanda, we started going through the IVF process. And then I got a doctor. So in the morning, it's on my 38th birthday. In the morning, we find out my wife is pregnant with our first child. And then in the afternoon, I find out that I have aggressive bone cancer, and it's a pediatric cancer that it's in kids and it affects kids, and it was in my spine. And I guess there's about 1,000 cases of it in the United States or the world a year. So, and I was like, I can't believe this. I don't know. It's called Ewing sarcoma. I had stage 2 Ewing sarcoma in my spine. Doctors like, the good thing is I have a oncologist that specializes in your type of cancer. So then I started treatment, but I didn't know if I wanted to do treatment. When you're talking about, the highs and lows, I'm like, how exactly were you dealing with all this? And at first I'm like, I'm not going to do treatment this time because I know how bad it was and what I had to go through. But I was also on a lot of pain medicine from having my spine operated on. I talked to like my inner circle. My wife is like, you need to at least try, I'm pregnant. My father's like, you need to at least try. So this treatment it's the worst treatment there is. It's 5 different chemo, and there's a rotation, 3 chemo in 1 day treatment. And then you take 2 weeks off, and then you have a 5-day treatment of 2 different chemo. And I was supposed to be hospitalized that whole week, doing the treatment at the hospital, doing it. But I got the doctor to let me commute every day so I could be at home. That was really important for me to, commute every day. But this treatment was so bad. I ended up having like 7 blood transfusions.
Wow.
I ended up getting 3 blood clots in my lungs, and at the end of the treatment, my hips started going bad.
Oh,
So then I had to have
sheesh.
my hips replaced from it.
Oh my gosh, man. So
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I felt like you needed to hear that part of the story. You know?
No. So that's from just the chemo just taking its toll on your body.
Yeah, the drugs I was getting taken during chemo and the chemo, they've roasted my hips.
Sheesh.
Wow.
And then on top of that, man, I mean, you're dealing with cancer, depression, the ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in that situation, when you were talking about, I got a bad back. I mean, it's not what you had, but you get those pain pills and people start taking those, and then you're dealing with drug addiction on top of all this stuff. So, dude, the way you fight, you're an inspiration. If anyone's listening to this story and isn't inspired by your story, dude, I'm blown away by your strength and your fight, and just shout out to you, bro, for real.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And like I said, I thank you for letting me come on here and talk about it. It's a long story and it almost doesn't seem real, but it's absolute, 100% authentic. And this is it.
Yeah,
and I was able to go through all that. And now I'm a stay-at-home dad and I'm raising my kids. And I try to figure out, like, why am I still here? I'm here for them.
That's right.
Absolutely, dude.
And I'm enjoying them every single day.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So much love and prayers to you guys, man. We're so happy that we could have you on to share your story, man. And wish you nothing but happiness, love, and success in the future, man. And let's get this win, dude.
I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping the Bears. I want the Bears to prove me wrong. I'm tired of Nagy telling me all this. Wait until you see. Wait until you see.
Absolutely, man.
I don't still know what his offense is year 4.
What is the guys on the field don't either.
What exactly is it, guys? Let me hear.
Man. I'm the same. I'm trying to figure it out too. Thanks a lot, Ed, man. If you want to hang out, behind the scenes, man, you're more than welcome to keep chilling in the back, dude. We're gonna finish this thing up, and thanks again, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, I'm truly blessed every day to be here. Like I say, I use this hashtag MBM, the most blessed man ever. That's me.
Awesome, brother.
And I thank you guys for just letting me come on here and spread awareness. And like I said, for every guy out there that thinks the problem that you're feeling is going to go away, be your own advocate and get checked. It'll save your life.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Ed.
Take care, Bears.
Go Bears, bud.
Go Bears, baby.
Man, what a story, man. Ed's a great dude. Great family man. Sheesh. I mean, what he's been through, in his young life. Holy cow, man. Like, just amazing.
There's resiliency and
that's crazy. I just feel like that's just too much shit to throw at one person, dude. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus, like you really go back and look at your own life and you're like, holy fuck. And you kind of feel, that guilt of like, how the fuck have I, like, with all the stupid shit I've done in life, how the fuck have I made it this far and not had to face, that's just too much shit for one dude, man. But Ed, we definitely appreciate you joining the show, man. Thanks so much. And keep fighting, brother. Keep fighting. I know you're not giving up. I'm just saying, keep fighting. Tomorrow's another day and fucking keep getting after it, man. So what do you want to roll into? We roll into a little defense and then wrap this thing up. So
let's can get in here. Defense, man. Yeah.
So what? All right. We got Desai. We got his first battle. Yeah, go ahead, kick it.
All right. So defensively for the Bears, you got to get pressure on Stafford. We know the situation with our DBs. It's Jalen Johnson, Kendall Vildor, Duke Shelley. Oh crap! Why am I forgetting the other defensive back?
Artie Burns.
Is it Xavier Crawford?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. there needs to be pressure, and it needs to be in Matt Stafford's face repeatedly. Because if it's not, man, it's going to be a long fucking day. Yes, Stafford will throw picks. We've seen him do it before. He's thrown interceptions that ended games. It's totally possible that happens. It's just that I'm just not fully confident in this team right now. I hope they prove me wrong. The other thing is Roquan Smith and Alec Ogletree. I'm not super concerned with them tackling in the run game. I'm concerned that Eddie Goldman's not there. I'm hoping that Kyrus Tonga makes an impact today, so the run game can be held down. So we're kind of forcing LA to throw the ball more than they want. But you know how their offense is. They're a run-first offense, and they love the play action off of that. So it's going to be tough. Everybody thinks this defense is the shit. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say they are shit until they prove me wrong, because they do a lot of this. And if you're unsure, it's talking. They talk all this, but then don't do shit on the field. So until they've done something, I mean, this whole team is a work in progress, maybe aside from Cairo Santos and Pat O'Donnell. and it pains me to say that, considering we're, in year 4 of this regime, and I'm sorry. I try.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see, dude. I'm excited to see this defense today, though. I think there's been a little things, hidden up the sleeves in the preseason and that, and we haven't really gone into what the defense is going to be and whatever, right? But I think I'm excited to see what the size got, man. And I'm excited to see how these aggressors fucking get aggressive. And how we do this thing. I mean, we've slapped the table. A lot of fucking other, places, media, everybody has said that this is a great front seven. And I want to see it in action. I want to see what they do. I want to see them just will the game, take over, move another man. You know what I'm saying? And just go out there. And I'm excited to see how this thing is, because we all know that not everything is shown in preseason. You know what I mean? And I need Quinn to earn at least fucking 25% of his paycheck. And I want to see these pieces come out and do what they're supposed to do, man. And I'm excited. I'm going to go with a couple turnovers today for the Bears. And I'm going to actually go with I think the Bears are going to win, dude. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win on the back of the defense. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor. And I won't say we're going to get to a 2018 defense, but I'm going to say that this defense is going to be pretty stout this year.
Well,
how many picks? Or turnovers?
He seems like, well, I'm going with 2 picks.
2 picks? Okay.
I did wear Eddie Jackson today because I feel like he's going to have a good game. I don't know what else I can say that you guys didn't say. I mean, our front seven, we need Robert Quinn to earn it. I want to see Khalil Mack get back out there and play like better than he did last year. And even he said, look, I didn't play well last year. I didn't play up to my standard. Akeem Hicks seems like a man on a mission. I mean, Alec Ogletree, they gave him a shot, so let's see if he can continue with that. I mean, the secondary scares the hell out of me. You got Jalen Johnson and a bunch of dudes, and Jalen Johnson might even be a dude. We don't know yet because we ain't seen it, and we ain't seen it for a whole season. So they got a lot to prove. We know if we can get after Stafford, we can get turnovers. And I guess we'll just go right in predictions if you want to do that, Bobby, since you went ahead and put your prediction out. So I'm gonna go. I don't have confidence in us winning, but I do think our defense looks good, and I do think this thing could be ugly in the first half. I'm talking it might be a 7-3 at halftime type game, but I really think this is going to be a defensive game, and I think the final score will be like 17-14 Rams, to be honest. I really don't see a lot of points going up. Both these defenses are really strong, and I think Eddie Jackson gets an interception today off of Stafford. He likes to do that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, over to you, KB. You know how it is. Here we go. Give us the predictions and let us know what you think, man.
Man, it's I don't know what to say. This defense scares me, man. It's one thing to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, the best thing you guys got is the defense," and then to sit here and look at what the defense is. I don't really know about all that. To me, about what you got on defense is a bunch of names right now. You got Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Eddie Jackson, Roquan Smith. You know, we're supposed to have Eddie Goldman, but he's hurt. If you want to say Nichols is a name, you know, you got a bunch of names. To me, the defense is no better than what the offense is right now. It's a work in progress. Thing I want to see today is I want to see the pressure. I want to see Decide dial it up. I don't want to see we're gonna relax in coverage and then play off of people. Fuck no. Press them at the line and blitz, dude. Like, don't give Stafford the time to even try to diagnose what we got going on. Because if he diagnoses, he's gonna see gaping holes at the corner position. That's let's just say what it is. I'm pulling for Vildor. I always say he's gonna be great, but it might take a little bit of time, man. As far as the linebackers go, what can you say? Like you said, we hope Robert Quinn earns 25% of his paycheck. Hell, at the point I'm at, I'm hoping Gibson comes in and is playing more than fucking Robert Quinn is. Because Gibson seems to know how to get pressure on people. And I need somebody young to take advantage of another 39 or 40-year-old playing left tackle for the Rams. So, bold prediction, if you want to say that's what that is. I'll say this. I'll say that the defense keeps us in the game, man. That's about as big as a bold prediction as I'm gonna get. I'm gonna say that they'll keep them to 17 points. I don't think they'll score more than that. I feel like Decide dials it up from the jump and is sending the house damn near every play. I'm not gonna go on picks. Maybe a pick by Eddie Jackson. Jalen Johnson, for whatever reason, is just good in coverage. He can't pick the ball up. So I'll go with a pick by Eddie Jackson. But the boldest I'm going, man, I give you this boldest prediction. We'll have 4 sacks. 4 sacks, an interception, and they don't go over 17. That's my bold prediction. Defense keeps it close, but I'm not sure about this offense, especially with Dalton, man. That's my bold prediction.
Man, I guess it's up to me then. Fuck, I'm ending this thing. That's probably bad. I'm the most negative guy here when it comes to this team. So I mean, I might as well live up to my expectations. I mean, you know, Doug, I see a lot of your comments, man. I know that, you know, how well you know the game and whatnot. And there's some of those things that, you know, I don't disagree with. I definitely think Dalton is an upgrade over Mitch. You know, still doesn't mean he's a good quarterback. This offense being led by Matt Nagy, I don't expect to do shit at all. I believe that tonight at 8:30 Eastern, the Bears will receive the opening kickoff. That's my bold prediction, is that the Bears will receive the opening kickoff.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's as bold as I can go. We will proceed to watch another Matt Nagy-led offense do absolutely shit in the first half. My second bold prediction is that they may end up with 3 first downs in the first half offensively. And then at that point, once the third quarter starts, they'll get a drive going and it'll stall. And then they'll figure it out in the fourth quarter where they'll put up 13 garbage points, but still lose 24-13. That's as
Damn.
bold as I'm getting.
I'm going with my boy 4K Clovers, boy. God damn, that's cold blooded, man. Jesus.
I mean, you know, I love Khalil Mack. I think he's a great player. I really do. But
hold on, I want to say this about Doug.
Done, like in 18, he was phenomenal. 19, the level went down. 20, it went lower. This guy is being paid a lot of money to be a fucking game wrecker, and he doesn't wreck shit. Last year, he didn't wreck shit. Robert Quinn, you got a big fucking bag, dude, and you ain't doing shit. Stop talking. Enough. I'm tired of all the talk. You guys are fucking professionals. Shut your mouth, go out, play the game the way the coaching staff is supposed to guide you. Part of your problem of why you're not successful is everybody on the coaching staff from the top down is not good. You've seen it. It's year 4. I mean, look at the turnover in every room on this roster.
I was gonna say,
Every room.
And Doug,
it's
listen,
a fucking joke.
If
I'm sorry. I'm
if
sorry.
Nagy comes out and he gets this team over 20 points in scoring, dog, I shut my mouth. If he finds, especially if he finds a way to win this shit, and he makes Andy Dalton look like he knows how to play quarterback, I shut my mouth, man. I give you your week. But I need to see sustained success. Just one game isn't going to put me on the Nagy bandwagon. I need to see sustained success. You have to have a game plan and you have to execute it week after week. That game plan has to be, I'm telling you what it needs to be. All right? I need you to listen. 100%. Listen, I take the hat off. Listen to me when I say this. It needs to be run the ball. Run it. You have 3 solid running backs. I am a Khalil Herbert fan. That kid is amazing. To me, he will be the future number 2 back. And it hurts to say it. I think he's going to push Cohen off this roster. Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, Damian Williams. They all need touches tonight. That's number 1. 2 needs to be getting the tight ends involved early and fucking often because Donald, he will wreck this game. Aaron Donald, AD, the best fucking defensive player in the game. He is going to destroy that line. Let's get that straight. That shit's going to happen tonight. The only way to get around that, you run away from that asshole. You keep running away from him. You dump the ball off to your tight ends and you let them make plays. And then you have to do that to set up your pass off the play action. So you do not get Andy Dalton, okay? Andy Dalton, this dude, the motherfucker that can't run, split in half. Because if he plays tonight and these 2 things don't happen, he will be carted off the field. And we'll probably see Nick Foles because, fuck us. Game plan, run the ball. 3 running backs, use them. Tight ends, next, dump it off.
Yeah, we'll see.
That needs to be the fucking plan. Nothing else needs to happen. No curls. Curls don't get the girls. Curls are going to get you fired. Fuck the puns. They're going to get you fired. And it's going to lose us the game. Play action. So we got, and I just want to get this back right. Running backs get the ball. First, number 1, Pinky, number 1. 2, tight ends, get them involved early. 3, play action. Do not get Andy Dalton killed because if you do, you will be seeing Justin Fields I'm not even gonna say that because, like I said, fuck us because we're dumb fans. They're gonna put Nick Foles in for a play, and Nick Foles is gonna get split in half, and then we'll see Justin Fields. When we're out of quarterbacks is when Justin Fields is gonna play. That has to be the game plan. That's the only way this shit's gonna fucking work. That has to be your offense, and please set shit up. If I see a fucking tight end end around, I'm going to destroy a TV tonight. Not a remote. I'm going to destroy a TV.
Hopefully you got like go to a pawn shop and buy a little cheap ass fucking old tube TV or something. Don't ruin your fucking good TV, bro.
I'm trying not to, dog. I might have to sit away from
Nailed
the
it, Chuck.
all the way away from the TV, like in the back behind the couch.
Yeah.
So
First play of the
I
game,
can't just
empty set.
run. Empty set. It was
so
like, bro, what
fucking
are you
true.
doing? What are you doing?
So true.
Well, yeah.
Dude, well,
And then they'll
my
fucking
phone died.
They'll line up in the T or some shit.
Man,
My phone died, and I had about 3%. I'm about to die again. Badge, I don't even know if you did shout outs or anything yet. Did you do them?
no,
Yeah,
not yet.
we're good.
Because I left,
we're good.
KB was talking, I came back, KB was talking. I'm still
He was
fucking
talking the whole time. I don't know.
But the hat's off.
Shut him
and
up.
the dude's
I
fucking,
No,
He
we're
must not
good,
notice
man.
the
We're
AC
good to
show. I
wrap
don't
it.
know.
All right, man, let's wrap this thing up. Ed, thank you. I might die again here in a second. My phone might die again here in a second. But Ed, thanks so much for joining us, man. Congrats on the badge of honor. Keep fighting, brother. Keep getting after
Hell
it.
yeah.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. It's week 1, motherfuckers. Like, let's go. Let's have this glass. Let's have this glass half full. Right now, and then maybe next week we can look at it half empty. But let's go with half full right now, and we appreciate you guys joining us every week, and we're here for another season. So let's do this thing, and let's just get after it tonight and end this thing with a big old bear down.
Bear down.
Yeah,
Wow,
let's
baby.
freaking bear down and help. Let me get the closing ad here because bear down, everybody.
Or bear up. Fuck it.